if someone would offer us an opportunity to work in Cuba, we would work in Cuba and have some nice cigars there. Yeah, Professor Hendrich in '33 as a young man started his firm being by himself, and very soon he recognized to have a partner is much better than working all alone. So in '35 he joined with a partner the firm, and the firm started to grow. And I think that over the years the partnership grew, the firm grew. And with a partnership, you think in various ways. It's not just this single opinion of architecture and how to move in the field of architecture, but to be diverse, to, as we do it today, still discuss our work. We have not one line of architectural expression. We have many lines of architectural expressions. But what is the baseline is that we always want to deliver a very high quality. Quality in the sense of identity in an architectural piece, but also in, of course, all the detailing and all the quality of construction that makes us in the world of the architectural firms, a firm where you can always be sure you get a good product. And that was something that our forefathers in the firm have for many years told us to deliver, and I think we give it on to the next generation as well. Well, to stay young, and we always try to bring in young people and discuss with them what their opinion is, what they want to do, and sometimes as design leaders we have to rethink, is this still the right way we are on? Are we on track still? Because young people are much faster, much more in visions that overcome the old heritage point of view. And then we again adjust our thinking and say that heritage is a very strong factor of architecture, because people in a city, they want their identity, and when you radically clear everything that is from the heritage standpoint, from the landmarks, is gone, then character and identity is lost. So in this communication between radical young ideas and the old holding on to heritage, I think is a magical factor of finding a good solution and having an answer to the request for orientation and identity from the past, and also finding ways for the future. I think one factor is that the generations within our firm, they grow within the firm. We have rarely come in someone from the outside, even though there might be very good designers that are attracted to our firm. But we feel that everyone who wants to take the lead has to have the DNA of HPP. And that means, as I explained before, to be in a partnership, to allow diverse opinions and try to make the best out of this diverse opinion, without losing the sight of advantages that bring new ideas and free ideas. And free thinking has always been a big point in our work, that we find consents, but we still ask, is this the right thing, or do we have to think again in a freer way? And I think this dialogue and discussion about design is really a big value in our firm. Disadvantage. Of course, a disadvantage is that you have to ask, and you have to constantly negotiate with your partners about a design delivery, and that makes and has the risk of making things a bit more consensual. And if you are alone, you can be more radical, you can be more to the point of what you as a person want. And that is, of course, us in the negotiation, very important to not to sort of raise the beard of personality and get people to think more communal. But in a way, a disadvantage is that this very radical situation or standpoint of opinion can be lost in some ways. Other than that, I think we pretty much are quick in our decisions, we are consensual, we try to be harmonic, but then we are very different personalities. If you look at Werner Sübay, who is a completely different guy than I am, and that in consens is, I think, a quality and not a disadvantage. Well, I think working in Germany, you must understand that we have a huge amount of standards. For us, it's too much because the standards are getting more and more and more, and we're always asking for a radical change in a more simple way of codes and systems and standards. But it's a burden today. But if you file a permit drawing for a simple building, you already have the standard of LEED silver. All handicap codes, everything is completely enclosed in a normal standard. So I think that is something where the German cost of construction is also very high because it pushes standards to a limit where you think, is that really necessary? We have standards in energy consumption, we have standards in sound insulation, so in a way you don't hear the next door neighbor when he closes the door in a hotel room. I think that is a big difference in worldwide. If I go to America and I'm in a new hotel and I hear the neighbor next door go to some place, it's just and to go into new ways of architectural developments. We always think of the matter of standards and costs, and that keeps us a little bit like we drive with the brake on. You know, we're a little bit stopped by that. And I often wish we could open that up and be more free instead. But that's the way Germany is constructed and organized. We are more free in China, and of course our work is focused on pre-design and design development, and not so much on the construction documents and on delivering the final product, although we would love to be much more involved in the delivering of the final product, because only then you can make sure that the details are really done the way we envision them. So some things get lost on the way of construction. I want to start with the alert. I think that one thing global architecture is doing, that it all looks alike, whether you go to the United States, in some cities in Germany, or in China, or in France, wherever you go. I think global architecture has the danger of being a global look-alike. And I feel that, for example, the famous architect Wu, who in Ningbo designed this beautiful museum where he reuses old materials, he really has a point. Giving back some of the materials and the quality and expression of architecture that is locally recognized. And that is maybe in Germany in some ways still alive, because we have different states in Germany, and the northern states are different than the southern states. Although this is losing over time more and more, certain materials are still prevailing in a city like Flensburg or Kiel or Lübeck, where brick is the material. And in Frankfurt, it's more the international style high-rise, and there's no Frankfurt original architecture left. And I think that those qualities we should recognize and understand when we work in a different city or in a different area of country or in the world. the good point. I think the overall standard of architectural products and buildings has been risen quite steeply in terms of quality, sustainability, in the security of the buildings, the structural security, the exiting requirements. If we build a stadium now here in China, it has the same standards as in Milano or in Germany or somewhere. So I think for people using modern buildings, they can be pretty sure that they have a high safety and security standpoint. In the architectural expression, I think you cannot find a positive tendency because it is that repetitiveness of the same thing that you find all over the world. I think it's that we all strive to being globally recognized, and globally recognition is praised by achievements of high rises and of things that you have seen before. And that's why I was so surprised and such a strong fan of Wu, who did something completely different. And I think that is that should be pushed more by media and pushed more by the architectural. It's a value, a great value, to find expression in ideas that can't be so easily replicated.